welcome to our second yoga class together. I actually have an intro for this one because hopefully I won't be cut off. Oh, and let me check the time so that I don't keep you too long. Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to share a short reading by the Buddha, and hopefully you will learn a little bit about him as well. Make an island of yourself. Make yourself your refuge. There is no other refuge. Make truth your island. Make truth your refuge. There is no other refuge. So I really love that, that particular piece by the Buddha, because I think when we come back to our true selves, come back to our values, come back to who we know ourselves to be, it is like a refuge. It's kind of like a, So, when in doubt, you can be your own refuge. But in order to do that, you do have to find some authenticity in the way that you act, and the way that you speak, and the way that you move throughout your life, so that when you do come back to yourself, you know that you're doing the right thing. You know that you are staying true to yourself and to your values, and that your decisions aren't just selfish wants and desires, because those things are the things that lead to suffering. So enough talking. I'm going to put on some music. We'll do some gentle stretches to get started. And for this particular class, I thought I'd take you through some modified sun salutations and get into some basics of some of the asanas or poses that you will very commonly find in a yoga class. So find a comfortable seat. If you have a yoga mat or a sticky mat, I do find it's best to practice without socks so you're not slipping around. Same if you're on a floor or anything like that. It's hard to practice in socks. You have to grip a lot more muscles that way. So you're more than welcome to, but you'll find it challenging. All right, so we're just going to begin by settling in, whatever that means for you, whether it's closing down the eyes, or just softening the gaze. You can place the palms, hands down on the lap, for a sense of grounding if you need that, or you can turn the palms to face up in a gesture of receptivity, or even a gesture of offering, kind of that mutual give and take. So just see what feels right. And then just breathe. So as you start to breathe, just notice the depth of your breath. Notice if it's shallow or deep, fast or slow. And see if, whatever pace it is, if you can just smooth the edges around the breath, so that the inhale flows right into the exhale. And it just moves continuously in a circle of energy. And then dropping the chin to the chest, taking the hands and interlacing the hands, placing the hands on the back of the head, drawing the elbows together. The hands rest on the occipital ridge of the head. That's the base of the spine. Gently drawing the hands up. Just a little bit of pressure to lengthen the back of the neck. And on an inhale, open your elbows, lift your chin up to the sky, stretch and breathe through your armpits, and back to center. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, little baby twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind the back. You can use that hand as an anchor as you lift and lengthen the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, and if it feels good, you can twist a little bit deeper and take your gaze with you. One full breath here, wringing out any stale energy. And then on an inhale, listen carefully. Begin to move your abdomen, your rib cage, and your chest back to center. Unwinding, arms lift, gaze lifts. Exhale, turn to the opposite side. Right hand meets left knee. Left hand behind the back like a second spine. Press it into the earth. Sit up tall. Either stay here, draw navel to the spine. Turn the rib cage open, chest open, gaze to the back wall if it's comfortable, and breathe here. Again, as you turn back around, the belly, the rib cage, and the chest unwind, and the arms come back up to lift. Exhale, hands to the floor. If you're sitting on anything, you can remove that. Come back to the floor. And legs can be out in front of you if your hips are feeling really tight and cross-legged doesn't work. Or they can be cross-legged. Right hand's gonna come down to the floor. I think we did this stretch before, but it's one of my favorite. So the fingertips are gonna come onto the floor, and that left arm is gonna lift up. And you're just gonna walk the right fingertips out and then press that right hand down and away from the mat to reach up and over. A little bend in the right elbow. That left shoulder stays relaxed. And the head can look straight forward or it can gaze up. Deep breath in to the left lung. And exhale. This time turn the body. Left hand comes to meet the right. Inhale, open. Exhale, come down. Inhale, open. And lift all the way up. Exhale, other side. Left hand to the mat. Lengthen through the spine. Draw the navel into the spine so you can sit up nice and straight. Walk those left fingertips out. Press the palm down, press away from the mat, reach up and over. Get a nice stretch in the right side of the body, head anywhere that feels comfortable as you breathe in. On the exhale, right hand parallel to left hand, little twist. Inhale, unravel, open. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, unravel, open, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands to the floor. At this time, if you have a sweatshirt or anything else on that's warm and cozy, you might want to take it off because we're going to start to build some heat in the body so that we can really get into those muscles. So we're going to start on hands and knees. Knees are going to come right underneath the hips, and the hands are going to come right underneath the shoulders. So your body is in one straight line. And we did this one before too. This is a great way to warm up the spine. So tucking the toes, lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, arching the chest, looking up, and it probably feels so good if you've been on the computer. And then release those toes, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin to chest, hollow the belly out, press the shoulders to the ceiling. Do that 2 more times. Toes tucked, tailbone lifts, heart arches. Look up on the inhale. Exhale, release the toes. Round the back, chin to chest. Exhale. Once on your own. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, we're gonna turn everything to the right. So we're gonna bring this right hip forward and the right shoulder back. So lengthen spine, exhale, squeeze to the right. Breathe into the left side body. Inhale, center. Lengthen tailbone to crown of the head. Exhale, bring the hip to the shoulder, shoulder to the hip, and look back on the left side. Breathe into the right side body. Exhale, come back to center. We're going to do puppy dog stretch. So walk the hands out. This is also one of my favorites. Walk the hands out as far as is comfortable. And you might only come down to here as long as you want to feel a good opening across the upper back. So this might be enough for you. If you're really open, you can maybe lay your chest down. Okay, so whatever feels comfortable for you. If it's too much up here, you can bring the forearms down and bring the chest forward this way. But if you're really open, you can really walk those hands out and bring the chin to the floor and tuck the toes and maybe even tap the fingers onto the floor and get a magnificent stretch across the upper back. It looks very funny, yes, I know. But breathe in and breathe out. If your hands are all the way out, slowly bringing them underneath your shoulders for support, engaging the lower abdominals to press back up. And to child's pose. So knees wide, hips and heels come together. Hands walk out and the head rests either on the mat or you can stack the fists and place the head there. Soften the eyes, settle the spine, and come to an intention for your practice. What is it you'd like to focus on during your practice today? Maybe it's just that sense of truth. Coming back to yourself, coming back to your truth. When you're ready, walk those hands out, lift the elbows, fingers spread wide, middle fingers facing forward. Lift the hips, tuck the toes, bring the knees back in line with the hips. Send the hips back towards the heels. Ground down into the knuckles of the hands. Let the head hang, and pressing into the hands, into the feet, lift the hips up high with bent knees, coming in to our prep for downward facing dog. Check out your shoulders and notice if they're pressed up by your ears and see if you can roll them away. Even turning the insides of your elbows forward to activate the biceps. Keep lifting the hips up, up, up. Working towards a straight leg and working to bring those heels to the floor. Relax the head. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And remember, it doesn't matter what your pose looks like. It matters what your pose feels like. So if you're here and that feels better than being here and reaching and overextending yourself, by all means, do what's best for your body. This is for you. Another deep breath. All right, so options here. You can walk to the front of the mat, feet to the hands, or hands to the feet. Hands to the feet is a little bit easier. That's what we did last time. So this time I'm going to demonstrate feet to the hands. So tippy toes. Lift those feet up, 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 up. Walk them to the hands. Either way, let's inhale flat back wherever you are on the mat. Just a moment to lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Outwardly rotate those inner thighs. Ground down through the feet. Draw the belly in and up. Look forward. Exhale. Fold forward. Soften the knees. Bend the knees. Whatever you need to do. Hang out. And taking that hang and letting the arms hang like limp noodles. Tuck the chin to the chest and roll up super slow. Head coming up last. shoulders roll open, chest rolls open, fingertips to floor, palms open. Draw the thighs in and up. Draw the navel in and up. Lift the heart up. Reach through the crown of the head and ground down through the feet. Deep breath in, Tadasana, mountain pose. Move to the top of the mat from wherever you are. Good, so feet are together or hips distance, whatever's comfortable. We're gonna inhale, circle, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, prayer hands through heart center, fold forward. Hands to floor by bending the knees, especially if you need to bend those knees, no shame in that. Inhale, hands to shins, look up and lengthen. Exhale, knees bend, hands to floor. Step the left foot back as far as you can and make sure your right knee and right ankle are lined up. Good, stay here. Draw the thighs towards one another, squeezing action towards one another. Good. You can bring the fingertips to the floor and look forward here. Make sure you're breathing. Palms come to the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Shoulders relax. Inhale for 3. Soften the knees. Bend them if you need to. Exhale. Inhale, plank pose, top of a push-up. So you're on the toes or the knees. I'll demo from the knees first. So spine is in one straight line and hands are underneath shoulders. Gaze is going to look about a foot in front of the mat so that when I bend my elbows in a tricep push-up, I can lay my chest and chin down on the mat. And again, I'm in a weird little shape. And then I'm going to flatten my body onto the mat. Take my hands underneath my shoulders, so walk them back. Hug the elbows into my side body. Press down through my pelvis. Engage my thighs. Inhale, lift my head and chest, roll my shoulders back. Chest forward, heart lifted, little baby cobra. Okay, make sure your shoulders aren't up here. Relax them down. Exhale, head to the floor. Tuck the toes. Press back through child's pose to downward facing dog. You might need to shorten your stance a little bit. Inhale, look up. Exhale, right foot. Step it all the way up. If it's back here, you clunk it up. And then left foot meets the right. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back, lengthen through head and tail. Exhale, soften knees and hang. Ground down through feet. Inhale, circle sweep all the way up. We'll get that on the other side. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen to prepare. Exhale, bend knees, hands to floor, right foot steps back, knee in line with ankle. Good. Position yourself here. Engage those inner thighs, drawing them in towards one another, and engage that back thigh as well. Press out through that back thigh. Look forward as you inhale. Bring the hands to the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in for 1. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Deep breath in for 2. Exhale, relax the kneecaps. Deep breath in for 3. Exhale, relax the jaw. Look forward. Step that left foot all the way in between the hands. You can help it up. Right foot meets it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center, eyes closed. Take a breath. Inhale the heart towards the thumbs. Exhale the hands to the sides of the body. Inhale, circle sweep, lift, maybe a little back bend this time. Exhale, fold out to the side or center, doesn't really matter. Inhale, lengthen the spine, so same series here. A little bit different, hands down. Bend, right foot back this time. Good, so same thing, we have the left lunge now. We're gonna drop the knee this time. Release the back foot. Press the hip forward, open the heart, maybe lift the hands off the floor. Or you can bring the hands to the front thigh and press the thigh away. Or you can lift the arms overhead. Press those hips forward, get a good stretch in the psoas, the front of that right thigh, the front of that right hip, whatever feels good. Exhale, hands to the floor. This time straighten that left leg. Lift the hips, toes towards the face or not. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Lift and lengthen through the heart on you. Inhale, exhale, surrender, and fold. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. We're going to add on from here, coming forward, drop that foot, tuck the back toe, drop the heel, take the right hand to the inside of that right foot, take that, this is my left hand to the inside of that left foot, and my right hand up to the sky. See if I can roll that right hip open, roll my chest open, keep everything open, and breathe. Good. One more breath. Hand to the floor. Turn everything back to center. And gingerly make your way back to downward facing dog. If you need or want a break, take a child's pose. Otherwise, hang out here for another breath or two. Nice deep breathing. Inhale, body comes forward, plank pose, just like last time. So, if you can keep the body in a straight line here, stay off the knees. Otherwise, drop them down. Engage the quadriceps by lifting them up. Look forward. Bend the elbows. Tricep push-up, lower partway down. And then roll over the toes. Roll the chest through the arms. Lift up. Look up. Upward facing dog. This is not comfortable. You drop the hips. You lower the chest. You widen the legs. You take cobra or baby cobra. Press back through child's pose by dropping the knees and then up through downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, right foot in between the hands. Really important on this side. If it's back here and the knee isn't in line with the ankle, help it up. Get that nice right angle. Engage that back thigh, lift it up. Drop the knee, release the toe. And come to wherever you're comfortable in Anjalayasana. Pressing the hips forward, lifting the heart forward. Hands can be up, down, or on the leg. But the most important thing is that you're breathing. One more breath. Hands to the floor. Hips lift. Legs straightens, toes towards the face or not. Walk the hands closer to under the shoulders and surrender. Deep breaths. This is Ardha Hanumasana, half Hanuman pose, half splits. And then coming back, again making sure knee and ankle line up, tucking back toe, lifting back leg, this time dropping the heel. So the heel, front heel, and back in step, line up. Right hand goes to the inside of the right foot. Now if this was too much for you on the other side, an option is to come back to the knee down, to turn that foot. So I'm going to actually demo from my left so that you can see me. So an option is knee down, foot turns, and we can do the same thing right here with my knee on the floor. So it'll look like this from the other side, where we will all hang out for another breath or two. So whether your knee is down or your leg is lifted, take another breath in, another breath out. Make sure that side body is nice and open. Exhale, bring it down. Walk it back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now you can do those little baby steps coming up onto the toes, walking one by one up to the hands, or for a little bit more fun and excitement, you can bend those knees, look in between the hands, ground through the hands, and hop your way up. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Take a breath. Get a sip of water if you desire. So that was Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation A, modification of that. So now we'll do Surya Namaskar B. These are the classical warm-ups for yoga practice. So Surya Namaskar B begins in chair pose. We're going to bend the knees, inhale, reach the arms up, sit back like we're sitting into a chair, open the heart, tuck the tail, draw the navel in, strong core. Exhale, hands to the floor. Bend the knees and step back. Plank pose. Again, your choice. Drop those knees, lower knees, chest, chin, or do that full tricep push-up. And inhale into cobra, up dog, whatever works for you. Exhale, down dog. 3 deep breaths. All right, so inhale, we're going to take that left leg up and back behind us for a 3-legged down dog. I know this is more intense than last time. Exhale, take the knee through the chest. Lift, 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 lift. Squeeze it in. Step it in between the hands. If it didn't make it there, give it a hand. Drop the back foot on the ankle. Press down and out through that back foot. Inhale up, Vira 1, Warrior 1. Hips are squared to the front of the room. The weight is pressed down through the back foot, engaged in that front thigh, bend into the knee, hips straight, arms up. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in and out. One more. Exhale, hands to the floor. Plank pose, your choice, knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga, quadriceps engaged as you lower. Roll over the toes, come into cobra or up dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, child's pose or down dog. 2 more breaths. We can all get to the same place. And then when you are ready, that right leg is going to inhale. Lift all the way up. Keep those hips square so that the hip isn't rolling open here, although that does feel good. We're going to keep them square right now. And we're going to draw the navel into the spine and draw the knee into the chest as we come forward into a plank shape. And then bring that foot in between the hands. So get it up there any way that you can, graceful or not. Drop the back heel. Ground down through the feet. Hips face forward. Lift. Ground down through the back foot. Find your alignment here and settle in to the breath. You can close the eyes if it helps you focus. One more breath, strong back leg. On your exhale, hands down. Plank pose, last one, I promise. Your choice, knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. We're all going to meet in child's pose with either the head to the floor and the arms wrapped around the side body, or the fists stacked and the head resting on the fists. Take anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths and just notice how you feel. There's no right or wrong way to feel. But just notice what that series of poses activated in you. All right. Let's do some back bends. So walk those hands up. Come to the center of the mat. You can really be wherever you want, but I'm going to come to the center so it's easier to see. I'm not sure if we did these last class or not, so it doesn't really matter. But we're going to come into camel pose, which is called Ustrasana in Sanskrit. I know maybe half of my Sanskrit. I'm not great, but I'm not terrible either. So for camel pose, we're going to take the hands behind the back, but we don't want these elbows flayed out like I have now. We want them drawn in, right? So I want to use the muscles of my arms to draw my elbows towards one another. And then I want to lift my chest up, and I want to relax my shoulders down. I want to lift through my sternum as I press my hips forward. So here's stage 1, okay? This might be great. This might be enough. You want to make sure you're breathing. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, sit onto the feet. Turn the palms up. Close the eyes. Take a breath. Just notice what that felt like for you. And if it was enough, you'll do that again. And if it didn't feel like much, you'll take in a different variation. So when you're ready, coming back to stand on the knees. This time tucking the toes so that you're prepared to take that second variation if you choose. We begin the same by bringing the hands, fingers facing down, and elbows drawn in and chest lifted, right? And engage the glutes and press the hips forward. Right? A little press, press, press. And then you might reach that right arm up, left hand still supporting the low back. Right arm reaches around and maybe grabs hold of an ankle. Left arm lifts up, maybe reaches back around, grabs hold of the other ankle, okay? And my chest keeps lifting, my heart lifts. I can use my hands on my ankles as kind of like leverage to really roll my chest open and my head back, and it feels good, hopefully. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And then to come out one at a time, hands to low back, use the abs, hands to low back. And seat to heels, turn the palms up and close the eyes. So I don't know why, but I just really had the urge to teach you headstand prep. So we're gonna do that. All right. So don't be afraid. We're gonna come into dolphin pose first, which is a really good shoulder and core strengthener. That was the combination. Shoulder and core strengthener to prepare for headstand prep. So what you want to do is come back into that tabletop position that we started class in, right? Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And I'm going to take my elbows and I'm going to place them where my hands are, okay? Elbow, elbow, okay? Then I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to touch my elbows so that I make sure I have a nice distance in between my elbows, okay? That's going to help make sure that they're kind of like parallel away from each other. Then I'm going to take those arms back out and I'm going to lay them flat on the floor. So my hands look like this on the floor. Okay, this is the fun part. Now I'm going to tuck my toes and I'm going to take my hips to the ceiling. So it's just like downward dog, which might already be challenging for you. So already notice your relationship to challenge. Notice your reaction to physical challenge, okay? And then walk your feet in. Hang out here for a little bit. Just notice what that feels like, okay? Drop your knees. And now interlace your hands, okay? Tuck the toes back under. We're gonna come back up, but this time we're gonna shift from the inverted V position to plank pose. It's gonna be so much fun. Ready? Inhale, lift. Okay, so we're in the inverted V pose here. You wanna make sure you have a good distance between your feet and your hands. Okay, so your heels are not touching the floor. Even if you're very flexible, my heels are not touching the floor. I'm gonna inhale, bring my chin over my fists. Exhale, press back. Inhale, chin comes over fists. Exhale, press back. See if you can do 6. Deep breathing. 2 more. And relax. So relax in child's pose. Hands can come around the body, shoulders drop. So if that was like heat building enough, hard enough, and you don't want any more than that, then hang out there. Otherwise, we're gonna come into headstand prep. Not full headstand, because I'm not there to catch you. So I am not advising that you go all the way up. This is my legal disclaimer. Do not go all the way up into headstand. Okay, I've said it. All right. So, same positioning. We start on all fours. Elbows go where hands were. Hands touch elbows for positioning. Hands interlace. Now, this becomes the basket for my head. So I place my little old head in my hand basket. See, my head's in my hand basket. So my head's in my hand basket. Don't do what I just did. Make sure you measure before you come back in. Okay, my head's in my hand basket. And so my head is on the floor, but I'm not really putting a lot of weight into my head. Okay, my fingers are interlaced. I'm gonna tuck my toes. Look at me first before you do it. Lift my knees up, okay? Press down through my forearms. Really engage the upper back. Walk the feet in. So if I engage my upper back enough, it's like I don't even need my head on the floor, okay? So this is stage 1. This might be enough work, okay? Stage 2, tuck a knee into the chest. Stage 3, roll on to the opposite toe. Stage 4, maybe tuck 2 knees into the chest, and I'm a little egg. And I hang out in my little egg shape, and this is headstand prep. Okay? So, now that I showed you, hopefully you didn't do it while I did it, and we're gonna go and do it together. Okay. Here we go. All fours. Elbows go where hands were. Hands touch elbows. Hands interlace. Release the thumbs to make a little basket. Place your head down on the mat. Back of the head goes into the basket. Tuck the toes. Walk the feet in until you feel that weight shift. It's almost like once the weight shifts, it's like, whoa, I could just float on up, and you really can, okay? So I shift the weight. I ground the weight into my forearms, and I take maybe one leg into the chest. And maybe I just stay here because I'm like, holy smokes, this is a lot of work. And then I switch sides, okay? And that's great. But if this is easy, maybe I lift both. And I hang out in a little eggy. And I'm an egg. And I breathe in my egg shape. And then when I'm ready, my egg comes down and I don't crack. But I do hang out with my head on the floor because I want to neutralize. And I just had all that blood rushing to my head. So I don't want to come up too fast. And I just want to chill out. Alright, so hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. I'm going to roll up super slow, chin into chest, head coming up last. I'm going to swing my legs around, straighten them, remove the fleshes from my sits bones, and sit up nice and tall. My feet are flexed and my toes are reaching towards my face. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up. Lengthen the spine, exhale, fold. I can let the head hang. Reach for whatever's available. Maybe it's your calves, maybe it's your ankles, maybe it's your feet. Nobody cares what you can reach, it doesn't matter. The point of the pose is to stretch out your low back, and also is a counter pose to what you just did. So we were just upside down, which is very energizing. And now we're folding forward, which is very relaxing. So start to relax. And one more breath. See if you can just soften everything. And so we've been really deliberate in our movements so far. So this time I want you to just like go limp with everything. Relax the feet, relax the legs. And just slowly come up without any kind of muscular intention. Just kind of like, release your body, let it come up, and just like move anything out that needs to get moved. Hands are gonna come, fingers facing you and fingers spread. Soles of the feet come to the floor, knees come to the sky. The heart, the chest is gonna puff open. I'm gonna press my weight down into my hands, and I'm gonna lift my bum and lift my hips towards the sky into reverse tabletop. My head can drop back if it's comfortable. We're gonna take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. On the next exhale, we're gonna lower the hips back to the hands and then lift them back up. All right, so just a couple more, and then we're gonna go to Shavasana. Drop the hips back to the hands and back up. Lower the hips back to the hands. Maybe you can straighten the legs and back up. And one more time. Hips back to the legs. Back up. And this time, just hips release. Feet walk forward. Arms come around the legs. let go. So you might have noticed there's a little bit of effort and ease in this practice, which is very similar to life. Life is not all ease, it is not all effort, but we do both. And when we balance all of our effort with a little relaxation, or we balance even all of our relaxation with a little bit of effort, we find that we ourselves are more balanced. So let's come down to Shavasana and get that final balance. So Shavasana, corpse pose. The feet can spread out fully, the palms can spread out. You are gonna lay down and completely surrender yourself to letting go. Let your body become heavy. And thank your muscles, your joints, and all your ligaments for participating. And tell them that they can relax now. Now comes rest. So soften the space in between your eyebrows. Let your temples relax and your jaw go slack. The back of the neck and shoulders let go. And the head becomes heavy. Feel the rise and fall of the breath in the body. And again, notice the depth of your breath. Notice the pace of your breath. And smooth out those edges. Letting the inhale just roll right into the exhale. And the exhale flow back into the inhale. And the arms feel heavy and let go. The torso is heavy and it lets go. The hips and the pelvis and the glutes, allow them to sink into the heaviness and release their efforts as well. The fronts and backs of the thighs, all around the knees, shins and calves, ankles, hands and feet, fingers and toes. Let it all go. If you have time, feel free to stay here for at least 10 minutes. If you have a little less time, you can use even just a few minutes, a few moments of this as a reset. So if that's the case, and your time is limited, really try to stay present for the next 5 to 10 breaths. When you're ready, start to move the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles. And hug the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. Roll over onto one side. Place your head on your arm as a pillow. Use the front hand to press yourself to seated. And to come back. You can keep the eyes closed and focus inward. And just take inventory. Notice how you feel on a physical, emotional, energetic, mental level. And in a gesture of gratitude, bringing hands to heart center and thanking yourself for taking time to take care of yourself. If you did this practice during class, when it was assigned, and instead of doing other schoolwork or something you wanted to do, something else, I commend you. Part of this practice is tapas, is discipline. So well done. And if you didn't, remember it's a practice. You can try again tomorrow. So with that being said, the light in me honors, supports, sees, acknowledges, respects the light that is inside each and every one of you. Namaste.